Sakuya Izayoi is a prevalent character from Toho, that one series everyone knows about, but very few outside of Japan actually know about. You've undoubtedly heard or seen her before, either through ancient Toho memes from back in the day, seeing cosplayers, or through a crippling fetish to maids and maid outfits. She's not the OG maid, but she helped popularize the style in a lot of Japanese media. Welcome to Inspo, the series that delves into the inspirations behind characters from all across fiction. It's next to impossible for any writer to make a fully original character. Nearly everything is inspired by something, be it existing characters in media, mythological beings, or even real world people and creatures. Which is a perfect segue into the first character to cover. For the 99% of people that know they've seen this girl before, but know absolutely nothing about her as a character, here's a quick rundown. Keep in mind, the creator of Toho, Zune, doesn't have too much characterization for much of his characters, so it falls on fans to exaggerate and even add quirks to the girls. Sakuya appeared in Toho 6, embodiment of Scarlet Devil, as the 5th stage boss. She's the head maid to the Scarlet Devil Manor, owned by a 500-year-old vampire child that helped get that ball rolling. She appears alongside a gatekeeper proficient in beating you senseless, and a mage over 100 years old with full manipulation over the elements. So what does a maid do? Stop time? Nope, that'd be too simple. She has full manipulation over time itself. She can stop time, slow time, speed up time, erase time, have the past and future occur at the same time, have different timelines converge at the same time. If it's subject to the concept of time, she can manipulate it. She can also manipulate space in much the same ways. I can get more into her overall powers, but I can just say space and time manipulation, and you can tell we're working with some omnipotent demigod beyond typical mortals, one that no human could ever hope to survive. Wait, no, never mind, I almost got she is a human. Going back to her actual lore, yes, Sakuya is a human, who wasn't originally from Gensokyo, the world of Touhou. While nothing can be confirmed, there are theories both among fans and characters in Touhou that Sakuya was originally a vampire hunter by another name, who sought the head of the Scarlet Devil, Romelia Scarlet. This is supported by the fact that outside space and time manipulation, Sakuya's weapon of choice are silver daggers, the main weakness of vampires. Though somehow, even with the power to control everything to do with space and time, she lost. How do you lose when you can control space and time with seemingly no limit? Oh, right. Amelia has full control and manipulation of fate itself. Right, all Toho girls are absurdly powerful and unstoppable in their own rights. Anyhow, the theory goes that after losing to Amelia, Sakuya was spared, given her new name of Sakuya Izayoi, and enlisted as the head maid to the Scarlet Devil Manor. And the rest is history. They moved their entire manor to Gensokyo, blot out the sun with a heavy mist, get their house broken into by a broke priest and a 10-year-old witch wand in 8 different countries, and now help out the people in Gensokyo in exchange for some people meat. Lovely stuff, absolutely great. Now that we know who Sakuya is, let's look to draw some parallels for some confirmed inspirations, potential inspirations, and then a slightly crackpot theory I have. First and foremost, a very obvious conclusion that anyone could make if they knew both characters would be Dio Brando, the main antagonist from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Not only is he a vampire, not only do both characters have the ability to stop time, not only do both characters use said time stop to throw daggers at their enemies, but one of Sakuya's spell cards, i.e. special attacks, is literally called the World, which also happens to be the name of Dio's stand. It's undeniable that Zune took inspirations from Dio when making Sakuya. In one of the Toho fighting games, Toho Hiso Tensoku, one of her alternate color palettes is even yellow and green, matching Dio. On the topic of Hiso Tensoku, there's actually a few alternate color palettes between that game and its predecessor, Scarlet Weather Rhapsody, that have her look fairly similar to characters both in other media and even other Toho characters. There is of course Dio Brando, as mentioned earlier, Suiginto, a character from Rose and Maiden, and Rukoto, a robot maid girl from Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream. While Suiginto is more a passing nod rather than inspiration, design-wise, Sakuya was definitely inspired by some of Zune's previous characters, most specifically Rukoto, Mugetsu, and Yumeko, all from previous Toho games. Now, it may feel like a bit of a reach to say they're all maids, so they were obviously inspirations for Sakuya, and sure, I can give a pass to Rukoto. But look at the design for Sakuya side by side with Mugetsu and Yumeko, and try to tell me he didn't basically mash them together and change a few colors. Well, you could tell me that, and I would believe you, since they weren't inspirations for Sakuya's design. Around the time Toho 6 came out, a manga was in print by the name of Sarai about superpowered maids in a dystopian post-apocalyptic world where a plague has ravaged the world, turning most of everyone into monsters. What the hell, this sounds epic. But yeah, Sarai. It was in print around the time Toho 6 came out, and it's clear Zoom was a fan since almost the entire cast of Toho 6 looks like they're from Sarai. And I thought Dio was blatant. Sakuya specifically shares a likeness with Nudge. The maid outfit goes without saying, but then there's the pigtails, bows, dress, design is almost identical. Hell, I'd wager Sarai was even an inspiration for Zoon's art style at this time. There might be even more similarities, but unfortunately, Sarai was apparently not the most popular manga out there, and I cannot for the life of me find a scanlation in English. From what I could find, there's another character named Flicker who fights using knives, so God knows that there's even more similarities. But this is unfortunately as much as I can find. At least on the design, since we haven't even touched on the biggest inspiration for Sakuya. One that might even lead to our identity before becoming the head maid of the Scarlet Devil Manor. To learn more, we have to look at spell cards. Spell cards in Toho are essentially super moves, incorporating a character's special power into a flashy move that creates beams or projectiles that shoot in every direction, making you feel like you're trying to dodge the rain during a hurricane. Like any good super move, all spell cards are named, like Luna Clock, Clock Corpse, and Mysterious Jack. Some of these are just cool sounding names, but others actually pertain to characters or are references to other possible inspirations. For instance, Sakuya's spell cards, Manipulating Doll, Killing Doll, and Perfect Maid, are potential references to some famous murder mystery novels like The Perfect Insider, Killing Doll, and The Case of the Perfect Maid. While these can be taken as nothing more than cute references, they do add credence to potentially her biggest inspiration, Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper was a prolific serial killer in the late 1800s that is most famous for never being caught. He killed at least 5 people in London, though it's believed that he killed up to 11 while he was active. Another reason for his infamy is he was notoriously brutal with his murders, many of the victims not even looking human when he was done, yet was known as having precision akin to a master surgeon, removing organs from many of his victims post-mortem. All suspected murders took place in a span of 3 years, which, nowadays, most people won't be surprised seeing a dozen people murdered in the span of a few months, but back then was both impressive and terrifying. You could make a whole video on this guy, the suspects, people and media inspired by him, but concerning Sakuya, there's already some similarities that can be drawn. Design-wise, she does fit to be from around 19th century England. Not to mention she is known as having incredible precision with knives. Oh, and also the part where she is almost 100% a murderer. I mentioned before that the Scarlet Devil Manor started living in peace with the rest of Gensokyo in exchange for human meat. Obviously, a vampire's gotta eat, but the vampires of the manor are children who aren't the best cooks and don't like to do any hunting. Furthermore, it's been noted that while the manor has other maids, these maids are all fairies that are easily distracted, rather dumb, and kinda useless overall. Sakuya is basically the only person in this entire mansion that gets anything done. Thereby, it can be assumed that she hunts, kills, and cooks all the humans for her master. Alright, I can hear you type. A few coincidences, sure, but you can't say this is the biggest inspiration when all you have is that she has a similar aesthetic to the time and place that Jack the Ripper was active. They are both skilled with a knife and murderers. And you're right. If that's all there was, Dio would be a bigger inspiration to Sakuya. So then, allow me to list out some of Sakuya's spell cards. Serial Killing Doll. Close-up Serial Killer. Another Murder. Jack the Ludo Bile. Mysterious Jack. Oh, right, and a spell card called Jack the Ripper. Now, while in the real world, Jack the Ripper was likely a male, in Toho, there's good credence to believe that Sakuya was not only inspired by him, but was him. Similar aesthetic for the time, both are confirmed murderers, absurdly precise with knives. Given one theory places the Ripper as a doctor, or someone in the upper class, they'd both have an elegant and proper personality. Furthermore, Sakuya was already confirmed to be from a different world from Gensokyo. While Gensokyo is far from the only world in Toho, there being a moon, animal realm, netherworld, old hell, new hell, blazing hell, what the hell, the real world is canon to Toho's story. And with her also being confirmed to be a human, wouldn't it make sense in Toho lore that at the height of the murders, Jack the Ripper left our world, lost her Amelia Scarlet, became her maid, and is now Sakuya Izayoi? Regardless of whether that's canon, it goes without saying that Sakuya was inspired by one of the most prolific murderers in history. And also those other people like Dio, which is funny when you remember that in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Jack the Ripper was actually a servant to Dio. So, huh, it was, it was Dio all along. Thanks for watching. If there's a character, place, topic, and fiction you'd like to see on a video, be sure to leave a comment down below. Remember to like, subscribe, click the bell, yada yada yada. Till next time.